Yo, what's going on, guys? Versal here, and today I'm doing a Jurrac Fiendsmith deck profile. This is a version of Jurrac that I've been doing a lot of theory and stuff for the past week or so, and finally got a chance to play some actual games with it at locals yesterday, and managed to go X1, so the deck performed pretty well. My one loss was to having a weak hand into nib game one, and I got nibbed, and couldn't get back into the game because I didn't have a recovery play on turn 3. And then game 3, I bricked going second, so it's kind of unfortunate that round. The other 3 rounds, I won 2-0. The deck did what it was supposed to, so definitely think this build has a lot of potential, especially moving into the next format. And gonna keep refining it. I think I'll probably stick with this for the time being. Managed to actually get some decent pulls in my locals packs for once too. I got these. It's like 20 bucks, nothing crazy, but usually pull bulk, so that was nice. But yeah, before I get into the profile, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, definitely do that now. Drop a like, comment, all that good stuff. It all helps me out. And if you're interested in this dinosaur playmat or the sleeves, check out finalsaga.de. And if you decide to buy anything, use my code Reversal5 for 5% off your order. Anything you buy using the code helps support the channel directly, so definitely check them out. I'll leave a link in the description. So for this list, I was going to do 40 cards, but I ended up doing 41 since I moved something from the main side to the main. So start with the Jurrac stuff. Got 3 Stegos, 3 Megalos, 2 Aeolos, and the 1 Volcano. This is pretty standard ratio, I think, for Jurracs at this point. I think this is the better way to do the Stego line. I think the Titano thing is terrible, personally. In this deck specifically, the Megalo has a lot more value, so when you draw one of these, you're not really upset about it. But the Aeolos are pretty much terrible to draw all the time. I hate this card, honestly. I had to summon this, both of these from hand one game yesterday, but I still won, so it was whatever. But it's this card was in my hand a lot, which was unfortunate. But Megalo's really cool in this list because of the Fiendsmith cards, and then it also works with the OV pretty decently as well. So I might bump Volcano up to 2 just to have another like starter in the deck. Even though this one can be a little weird because sometimes you don't have like a dino to pop occasionally. But my main thing with this is I just want a couple more starters. So bumping this to 2 might be the thing to do, I guess. We'll see. The other dino stuff, you got the 1 Misc, the God card, 2 OVs, 1 UCT, and 3 Fossil Dig. So these cards were all really good. The OV is really important to be able to search Conductor, whether you're going first to get follow-up for turn 3, or when you're going second to help clear boards, or just OTK. The Misc is it's just crazy. Whenever you have Misc and Stego, you're feeling really good because unlike normal dinos where you can kind of ash the Misc and end a turn potentially, or just ash a baby and cut off a lot of plays, the Jurrac line is pretty much all on field effects. So the Misc is actually protecting all your plays. Something that comes up a lot, especially going second when you have both, is you can do the Stego line, and instead of making a Stero when you're going second, you can just hard make a Meteor and blow up everything. And then after that, you're kind of in a good spot because you can use your Misc to get OV at Conductor, and then you're pretty good after that. That's 7k damage because the Aeolo's coming back off the Meteor. You can tag it out into Stego, and then from there you're in a pretty good spot. So yeah, these are all great. I played 2 OV just because if you draw one of these, you can't summon it off the Misc. So especially going second, that's really annoying. But it's just another starter at the end of the day. It's not as good as just normal summoning Stego, but if you have this and like Volcano, it's fine in normal summon. If you have this and either Misc or Megalo, you can still combo. Whether you're dumping a Stego and then using Misc to summon a Megalo, then popping the Megalo to summon the Stego from grave to do the Stego line, or if you have just like these and Stego or Megalo, and you could just use this and then special the Megalo, pop the Megalo, resummon this, and then dump a Stero and then go into Fiendsmith or Dolka if you already like had a Fiendsmith card. So these cards are really good in the deck still. I don't think you need to play more, but these cards are definitely very important for Jurrac still, in my opinion. Next, the Fiendsmith engine, 3 engraver, 1 lacrima, 1 lurry, 2 tracked, and 1 paradise. I know a lot of people don't like Fiendsmith, probably because they don't have it, but this is my deck and I like Fiendsmith, so I don't want to hear it in the comments, to be honest. But these cards are great. I wanted a good supplementary engine for Jurrac to help with follow-up mainly, and the Fiendsmith cards just give you great follow-up. And the Jurrac line, when you don't have Misc, is really bad into Nibiru. So another good thing about the Fiendsmith stuff is if you have like both engines, you can lead with this to bait Nib because of Caesar. And then if they do have it, or if they interact with this at all, it's just eating hand traps, and then you could do your Stego line. So these cards are great. You want to hard open them more often than you make them through Moon in this deck, so you play more of them. I'd probably play a 3rd tract if I had it, to be honest, just for another starter, but I think this is fine. The Paradise was originally in the side, just for going first, but I decided to just main it just because those games where you do go first and you're just playing Fiendsmith, that extra Paradise does help a lot. Between like Caesar, Paradise, and like a hand trap or 2, that can usually get you there. So I think it's worth it. And then in this deck specifically, when you draw this going first, it's not as bad if you have Stego, because you can destroy this with the Stego to get it engraved. So say you start with any of the Fiendsmith cards and they get ashed, for example, and you have like any of these plus Paradise plus Stego, and this gets ashed, like you could still Stego pop this, and then now you have the Paradise disruption, even though your Fiendsmith stuff got stopped. So it's a little bit different in this deck to draw it. It's still like not a good draw, but you can kind of manage it a little bit better at least. But yeah, these cards were great, honestly. They soak up hand traps. They're really good at helping you in the grind game, which this deck is lacking severely in. So I think they're really good. Then the rest of the deck is just non-engine. I think that's another nice thing about this deck. You have a lot of non-engine compared to other Dino decks. So started off with the Mulch Armies. I decided to go with 3 Fuas and 1 Perulia. Was originally going to play all 6 of these, but I decided to just side the other 2 Perulias since I just wanted like real hand traps as opposed to these, just because these have been a little bit weird lately. They're still good, but I just wanted more cards that could back up my board if I was playing like a half board type of thing. Like I only had Fiendsmith combo or anything like that, or just something to get you to the next turn. But these were good, kind of. I think Fua's was really good one game specifically. That game I bricked game 3 going second. I had Fua and I shotgunned it. If I didn't shotgun it, I might have been able to win that game, but I shotgunned it and then he just passed because he didn't have anything. I top decked the Perulia and then I shotgunned that and he passed again. So didn't get any draws off them that game, so that was unfortunate. But these cards are still great. You kind of have to play them. But the next is 3 Ash, 3 Troll. It's just good hand traps. 2 Imperm. This card's kind of underrated right now, I think. It's not like the best card in the world, but it's still pretty good. I mainly wanted to play it just as another hand trap that was just good going first or second pretty much. And you drawing this off the Charmies is pretty nice. And then I wanted it as another Baguska out, so this deck is kind of weakened to Baguska compared to other things. So I wanted to play 2 of these at least, and they were good. And it's a cross-out target technically too. So I'm playing Call By and Cross-Out. These cards are just great. I'm not playing the Talents. I don't think Talents is that great. It's good, but a lot of the time it can feel bad if you get like a Mulch Army shotgunned on you, or if you get impulsed or impermed or whatever. So I decided I was going to side it just for going first mainly, but I decided to just cut it all together. Then the last non-engine is 3 Fenrirs. So this card, I like it in the Fiendsmith builds generally because it's just a free body to help go into Fiendsmith after hand traps. But in this deck specifically, I wanted it for that and just additionally to just search itself. So after you blow up the field with your meteors, just having one of these in hand to start your turn with is really nice, especially if you got to do Fiendsmith things. So you have like a Fenrir to start your turn, and then you'll have the Fiendsmith follow-up engrave, and then you'll have the UCT in hand. So you'll have like a good amount of follow-up after blowing up their board, and it's always enough to win for the most part. So I'm going to keep playing with this card, see how much I like it. I didn't really get to use it too much yesterday. When I drew it, I got nibbed the first time, and then when I drew it the second time, I was going second, and I just special this and activated a Fossil Dig, and that was the end of the game, so didn't really get to use its effects at all. But I think in theory the card's really good in this deck, so we'll see. But there is cool things, whether you have like Fenrir plus like normal summon Stego that gets hand trapped, or if you have Stego plus a Megalo and Stego gets hand trapped. The restriction that locks you into dinos is part of the effect, so if the Stego does get negated, you can just pivot to Fiendsmith there. So that's like another reason I really like Fiendsmith in this deck. It just gives you a lot of lines through hand traps and helps your grind game a lot. Can just help bait out hand traps in general, and then you can just normal summon your Stego. So it's really nice. Definitely would recommend giving it a try if you have the cards, but if you don't, like, that's fine too. I really like it. So for the extra deck, got 3 Meteors, 3 Asteros, 1 Velfido for the Jurracs, then the 1 Dolka. I don't know if I might cut this for an SP, honestly, just to have like a out to Baguska. So I don't know how often this is going to come up realistically, because there's times where you can do like the OV dump Misc or dump Stego, or if you have Misc already, whatever. But usually if you don't have Fiendsmith already, you'd rather just go into Fiendsmith with those 2 bodies, since it's better follow-up and it's giving you more disruptions as well. And then that's really the only time I think I would go into this. If you already had Fiendsmith and then you couldn't dump Stego or something like that, and you had like Misc and Megalo, but I don't know. I don't know if this card's really gonna come up. I'm probably gonna end up cutting it, to be honest. And Fiendsmith stuff, we got Moon, Requiem, Sequence, Agnode, Desiree, Necroquip, and Caesar. Just the normal Fiendsmith cards. The extra deck's really tight. It's just literally the 7 Jurrac cards, the 7 Fiendsmith cards. You kind of need them all. I go through all 3 Astero and all 3 Meteor a lot. All these cards get used every game almost, so the only flex spot really is the Dolka, which I'm probably going to take out for an SP. Just so when you do have like your Fiendsmith stuff, you can go into Necroquip to make your SP banish live, and you can still like do that under a Baguska. So yeah, I think the extra deck's pretty, nothing really to talk about besides the Dolka. These are all like, just, you need to play these. So for the side deck, I decided to go with the other 2 Perulias, just because I want to have 3 of these in my deck somewhere, and 2 Nibs. This is mainly a going first card in my eyes, to be honest, because if you have like any type of board plus Nib, it's kind of crazy. And then I wanted it as a crossout target as well, just to like double get that extra value. But sometimes you side it and go in second. Kind of depends on the matchup, but it's not bad in certain matchups. But in some matchups, it's kind of mediocre going second. But I think it's still worth playing a couple. Then the 3 Lancia for like Malice and whatnot. I decided to play Duster and Storms. These are okay. I don't know if I'd continue playing them. I might swap these out. Then 2 Dark Rulers. This was kind of going back and forth with a lot of things. It was like Droplet or Ghost Spells or Ghost Ogre. But I decided to go with these just for another out to Baguska mainly. And it just had like a wider coverage into like big combo decks. I didn't really use it at all, but I think it's fine in theory. as a breaker. I just don't think breakers are that good right now, honestly. And the last card for going first is Mistaken Arrest. This card's broken. If you activate it, you kind of just win the game. When I was building this deck, I kind of realized it doesn't really search, so this card just like doesn't hinder you at all, really, for the most part. So it's really good. It's like the best going first card in the game. Another good thing, since you don't really search much, that I forgot to mention, is with Fua. If you get Fua'd in this deck, you can draw yourself a lot easier than like a regular Dino deck, and then just keep doing your combo. So that's something I figured I'd mention because it's important. Like, this deck's really good into a lot of the hand traps. Like Perulia, you don't really care too much about. Fua is rough, but you have like 3 Ash, Called By, Cross Out, you can draw yourself. Like, you have a lot of outs to it. Then yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, that's the deck. I'm gonna change the side probably. I'm gonna try to find another consistency card, I think, whether it's a second Volcano or maybe a third track down the line. I'd really like one more way to Stego. I think that would help a lot. Because the consistency is not too bad, but it's not like as high as you'd really want it to be. But it's still okay. But that's my one gripe with this, I think, is I want the consistency to be just a couple percent points higher. And that'd be nice. But we'll see. This is kind of where I'm at right now. I think the deck's really good. It's definitely my favorite Jurrac version that I've tried so far, since it's not full of bricks like Ryugi. But yeah, if you give it a try, let me know how it goes for you. And thanks for watching. Take care. Peace.